Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we are continuing on in the fourth case of the game, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. I am hoping that this might be the last episode of this case, so let's see. Alright, let's see. Cases I'm gonna do. I think we already were going through this last time. We found out they're top-hinged casements. I've seen it. Okay, she went to get help. She dropped her bouquet. Nothing strange to report. What's the next step then? Did we press her already? I feel like we said all this. I think we did, yeah. Fourth book that had no business being at the scene made me sure that Mrs. Garrett was hiding something. Yeah, that he's hiding something. And it has to do with the bouquet. I'm just not like 100% sure on how to go about this. Maybe when he said the whole nothing strange happened thing? That's all I could think of, right? Is to maybe present the bouquet on that. Oh, excuse me. Maybe it's this, right? That's all I could think. So let's try it. I could be wrong. Where is it? Maybe?
Objection!
Yeah, okay.
You claim, Constable Beate, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
He's so out of it still.
What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beate, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to the beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Uh-huh.
Objection!
Come on.
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Wow, rude. That man saved up just so he could buy his lovely wife a single rose, and you gotta be putting it down like that? You rude.
Mika!
Objection!
Oh.
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beate not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beate swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Roly didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way round.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beate's bouquet, There's Mr. Garadeb's book.
Yes.
Mr. Garadeb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand.
Yes. I think it's pretty obvious what happened. That if the bouquet landed right under Mr. Garadeb's window, then that's where the body was. Which means that frickin' Roly Beate moved the body across the street. And the only reason he would have done that is because if it was on the other side, then that means he doesn't have to do his job. And of course it's his anniversary, so he wants to spend the night with his wife. That is messed up, yo. I mean, it's kind of sad that he had to do that in the first place, because he's like, man, I just want to have a single night with my wife without having to worry about work. That's just really sad, but also really bad. Because this is a murder we're talking about, bro.
Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beate's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
Yes.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Roly's done something wrong.
Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Wittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
No. No.
Oh good, Mrs. Garadeb's come round, the two annoying wives ganging up on me. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garadeb, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo.
Mm-hmm.
but the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
It's pretty obvious. I'm sorry, man. You're gonna get in big trouble. You might even lose your job for this. But maybe you'd be better off. I mean, maybe you should find another profession, because this one sounds horrible.
Take that!
Oh my god, there goes Kiki again. Why does she always want to bark when I'm recording? Why? She never did this before. Only lately. What the frick?
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Roly Beate, it was you. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Roly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband.
Straighter, huh? Okay, sorry.
No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beate, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beate would have seen him do it.
Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beate, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well.
Objection!
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there. That's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Constable Beate had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord.
Alright, deep breaths. Let's do it.
Constable Beate's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide
Where the victim fell.
where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs.
What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
Hey, you have a bad sense of direction, so you can't be certain.
I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. Binks is tired and would like to move on now.
If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
We're gonna say it was right here, obviously.
Take that!
But that's...
On the opposite side of the road.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Basically, why did the corpse cross the road? To get to the other side.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garadev's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. Beate, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious.
Uh-huh.
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. My sparkling eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beate then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume?
Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the Rose Bouquet. Lord Von Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position, on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Roly Beate.
I don't think he's asleep right now. I think he knows he's in trouble.
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Are you really? I don't know if I believe him. I feel like he's just trying to delay the inevitable.
Oh, Roly. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
Are they gonna get a divorce after this comes out?
I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all.
Good golly.
Oh boy.
Order, order, order. What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Roly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Oof.
Wishing the victim dead should be one too.
Oh, he's saying that because it's not a corpse. Because she's still alive. I was like, what? Who's wishing someone dead? Now I got it. I got it. God, I bit my tongue in the middle of the night. So if I sound weird when I'm talking, you guys know why. Oh, it hurts so bad.
Ugh. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard,
Your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say, sir. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything.
Oof.
He did it for love.
And because he's freaking tired. You know, that job is horrible.
I have a possible explanation for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beate felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly...
Again? Stop! Oh my god, why did it autoplay again? What is going on? Because then I pressed the button for auto just to see if it was on and it wasn't, so... Why do they keep doing that? Freaking pisses me off. They do it and then I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Remind me, how do I do the log thing again? History, right? Okay, I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
Oh, it's just you being a jerk as usual. Okay.
And yet, Lord Von Zieks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far.
Yeah, shut the F up.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please.
Oh, he called him extraordinary. Yay!
Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable Beate's unthinkable actions?
I'm debating between... I mean, they're talking about emotions, so I would think anniversary. But I was also thinking of showing this because it's going to show why, right? The fact that it shows the rules that he would have to do that. So I'm kind of not sure which one. Maybe this is one of those that you could do either. I'm gonna go with this because we already presented the rose, so maybe this will work then.
Take that!
Because why else would we have it, right?
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do every day, certainly. But for Constable Beate, the day in question was special. Special? How?
We talked about this. Yeah, I think we could have presented either.
On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes. It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Constable Beate had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
When he and Mrs. Beate stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road.
when he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them. What must have gone through the man's mind?
But sir, just on that one particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beate puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
I mean, it sucks, dude, but this is a person's life. This is a crime. Surely she has to just understand? And you guys could try to make up for it another day, you know? It sucks, but it is what it is. This is what you signed up for. It sucks. It's a bad situation all around.
This is the warrant card that Constable Beate offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beate. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh,
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beate's beat.
Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done?
Oof.
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. I've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of a crime, so... I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street and then...
Yep. Okay, got it. Yikes. Well, after we're done with you guys, does that mean we're gonna have to squeeze the truth out of Mrs. Garadeb? The fact that she did throw a knife?
I'm...
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
your tears look really fake and weird. They look really weird compared to the, you know, the style of everything else.
oh, Constable.
I just wanted... Just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Roly.
Just that one night.
Yeah.
You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring Beate's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Roly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now.
Yeah, you didn't rush to get her help, so you thought she was dead.
But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Roly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place.
No, that means y'all would have gotten away with what you did. So, huh.
I'm so sorry, Roly.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
Huh? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Okay, the reason they're bringing this up, it's gonna help us determine how she got stabbed in the back from a knife falling from above, right? Which is what I think I said before. I think she bent over to pick up the book that landed right in front of her, and that's how her back was stabbed. It's like, whoa, coincidence everywhere. I mean, honestly, y'all, if I had seen a book fall down from the sky right in front of me, I wouldn't have bent down to get the book. I would have looked up like, what the frick? Where's this coming from? You know? Maybe she would have seen the smoke or something coming out of that house and had been like, what the heck? And then she wouldn't have been bent over. But then I'm wondering, would she still have been stabbed? Would it have stabbed her in the face or the head, or... I don't know. Maybe it's better in the back? Maybe she would have been dead instead of injured.
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Ah, interesting.
Okay.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw what happened. However which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it.
Mm-hmm. You're in trouble.
My lord.
Yes, Lord von Zieks.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir!
Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my Roly? What will happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime.
It seems to me, based on this, that Van Zieks has a soft spot. Because I kind of saw his face reacting during this, that he kind of felt bad. So right now, I'm thinking that's his way of saying he's gonna make sure that he doesn't get fired for this. Which is nice, but also, like, I kind of feel like maybe he'd be better off doing a different job. Because this one is so horrible. Like, seriously, if you want to spend time with your wife, then get a different job, man. Seriously, that one is, it's rough. I know that's probably his passion, and that's what he always wanted to be, but bruh, it's not worth it if you're gonna be tampering with crime scenes, you know? Well, it is what it is. It's showing that he has a soul inside. Oh, Van Zieks, you softy.
Oh, never again, sir. You mean to say... Leave, now. This trial is not yet over. Don't make me reveal my soft side anymore. Oh, sir!
Aw. I mean, he's a prosecutor, though, so does he really get to have a say? He must have, connections that he can pull to protect his job. I don't know.
Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that?
Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly committed this crime.
Objection!
Here we go. After all of this, you're still gonna say that?
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Von Zieks, is this true?
What? Come on, Judge, you know what we're talking about.
Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
But that will have to happen in the next episode. I was hoping we would finish it today, but it looks like it's still gonna go on for a while. Alright, so thank you guys so very much for watching. Maybe we'll finish it in the next episode. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye!